It's not like I counted you down and told you, and you're like, yeah, just go.
It started with, I'm going to hold it to, I might leave mid-show.
Oh, God.
Yes, we're talking about number 2s on today's episode of Calling the Audible.
Absolutely. Welcome back.
Oh, there you go. The door's unlocked for you. The door to the shipping container.
Small Eagle and Mokan.
Wait.
Don't forget about peas.
Peas.
Hello, Peas.
Hey, Peas. Okay. Talk back today. He's in a bad mood. We pissed him off with Dip 6.
Did we really?
Apparently. He hasn't talked since.
Oh, boy.
He did ask how the shows were going, and I told him not well.
That's not what you said. We were on the messages.
You're right. What did I actually tell him?
Who are you, Mokan?
I am Mokan.
I'm Simon, and I know that Mokan needs to do certain things to his body.
I know.
So
I'll be back.
It's going to be an interesting podcast.
You recap, and I'll go back.
And I'm Eagle, and
you
I
actually-
said
I'm gonna
we
go right
have
now.
no script. Mo and Simo are on it.
look how
How do
nervous-
you think it's going?
Look how nervous Mokan was when he said that.
I don't see Mokan. He's not in the shot. I don't know where he is or how long he's going to be gone.
Okay, Division 5, Division 4A. What did I see this week? This is going to be an interesting podcast. So I talk about a lot of things on my article.
Wait,
to begin with.
Simo, we gotta make sure this goes proper.
Oh, it's 90 seconds of heat? No, it's not.
Yeah, but it's going to be a really long 90 seconds.
No, you said it was fast. Okay, so Division 4A. So I'll try to keep this podcast in my article exclusive. But there's this one guy who really wanted me to talk about him, Andrew Lambert. Andrew Lambert wants me to talk about him every time, but I don't because I have to talk about.
You're actually doing it because you need to stall.
Because I have 450 people to talk about, so I can't talk about the same guy all the time. This week, Alpha Stars play Keyport Lock. Keyport Lock is on the up and up. They're playing better considering after 3 weeks we said they had the most brutal schedule. 0-3 and no chance of making the playoffs. Might finish 2-8. They were 4-4. 3-4. Eagle, can you pull up the record for Keyport Lock, please?
Yes.
And listen, they came into this game against Alpha Stars. Alpha Stars don't have Jordan Prezant in the lineup.
Keeper Lock are currently 4-5.
So they were 4-4. They were 4-4, which is it's a good spot to be in. Alpha Stars, very dominant team all around, but without their quarterback who's been playing lights out all season. So looking at them warm up, I was like, you know what? Keeper Lock could steal this game. This could be one of those steal in the season finish before 5-4. Get yourself a better seeding. Alpha Stars won't really care losing without their starting quarterback. Andrew Lambert showed up, man. He played really well. Offensively, defensively. AJ Rashkovan added pick 6 on Keyport Lock's first or second drive of the game in the first half.
Did he undercut the center?
No, the slot was doing a deep out, and he read it the whole way, undercut, and then Jeff is not catching anybody. So I could say because I'm also not catching anybody. And yeah, AJ just brought it back. It was a good play by him. Defensively, honestly, Alpha Stars, I think they massed up to 12 PDs. They just batted everything down. Keeper Lock couldn't get anything going defensively. Jeff didn't have a bad game though. He was just a lot of drops, a lot of bad plays that didn't go his way. Thierry Gerville did not have a good game for them. Jad already played well, but you won't win with a single guy in the 4A. So there you have it. This is why they lost. Alpha Stars showed up. Keyport Lock, they're a mess, man. I'm not looking forward to see them in the playoff. It's going to be bad. Game Changers manhandled. Don't mess with Texas.
So this is actually a fun one. So we actually have clips this week brought to you by Chris Rive. So I'll bring those up while we're waiting for MK to show up.
What's a MK?
MK.
MK. How have we not queued that to him before?
I don't know.
Okay, so Game Changers have been on an absolute tear this season. And Don't Mess with Texas are very up and down. 1 week they're very good, and the next week they're not so much. This was a not so much week. Last week they played well, got a win against the Tide. This week, not so much. If you know what Don't Mess with Texas is doing, the problem with Don't Mess with Texas is the guys are so good, man. Honestly, the receiver wise, the quarterback, everybody's very talented at football, but they use the same plays over and over. And when you know what's coming, it's easier to stop than certain offenses, like the Joey Taylor offense that they do. Very difficult to stop, even though you know what's coming. Don't Mess with Texas is a little bit easier. And Game Changers across the board are probably the most dominant team in the 4 since the cap era. And they're playing really well. Anton Sakic is having a monster season.
And we see him here right now trying to escape the rush, which he clearly does. And then, is he going to tuck it? Is he going to tuck it? He's going to tuck it.
Is he going to do it? Oh, he does. Do you have a lot of clips? Is that a long clip? Or?
We actually do. Yeah, he's still going. He's still going.
He's still going! I can't see the clip, so it's very difficult for me to...
He scored a touchdown on the run.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Anton.
So it's almost like you timed the topic with the clip.
It's almost
even
like
though you didn't actually see it.
I know it was coming. Do we have how long of this clip do we have?
It's pretty long actually. We got a bunch of them.
No, I mean for this game.
Like we got 5 of them.
Okay, keep it going. I'll talk about something else.
But we're talking about this game.
Yes, but I'm done.
But we need to talk more.
No, keep it in background. We'll talk about the U against Show Me TDs.
But we're still watching this game.
It's okay. Keep it going. I like to watch Anton score touchdowns.
But look at him by himself.
Ooh. Yeah, I like to watch Anton score touchdowns. The U destroyed Show Me TDs this week. And by destroy, I mean it was bad. 11 o'clock Sunday night. Lachine, I believe. Mike Donna did not have a good game. It was one of those bad Mikey nights. And listen, at the end of the day, the roster wasn't as competitive as they usually have it. They didn't have Felix Obaya. They didn't have, they didn't have Peace, but that doesn't really make them more competitive. But so if you look across the board, you had Justin Blanchard, Eric Quentin snapping in place of Peace, which is most likely an upgrade. Still have Anthony Adana. Still have Alan Parasuco. Still have Alex David. It's not a bad Division 4 team, but they couldn't do much against the U. The U was able to just take away whatever Mikey was trying to do. 3 interceptions, 2 by Zach Goldstein. And Dustin White has been playing better and better every week. It looks like he's coming back. It's just a matter of getting their pieces to click. The U was a very dominant team not too long ago. Dustin White hasn't played in a little while, needed some time. But once these guys get clicking, they're going to be the interesting moving forward.
What else do you have to talk about while we wait for Mo?
I know, right? There's a reason why we never wanted to do the monologue. And this is one of the reasons. Fun Boys.
Plus, it's you doing the monologue, which is even worse.
Well, who would make a better monologue than me? Part of our staff, not across the world.
Almost anyone.
Really?
I think Stefano would do a good monologue.
Oh, Steph does a better 90 seconds of heat, but at some point he runs out of content. You can't trash people for 40 minutes.
I mean, you say that. There's comedy specials on Netflix. That's basically it.
Yeah. I say that, but then... Sorry, Dan Lazara. Les Hommes de l'Ouest played against Fun Boys. Antoine Côté was present, although they only scored 6 points. But Fun Boys were dominant. No Scott Miranowitz, but they brought in Nick Arsenault. How does he fit in Division 4 to begin with? Probably one of the best player in FPF. Now just started sistling in Division 4. And Gabriel Say was their quarterback. I don't know him. You go research Gabriel Say for me?
I will. Also, yeah. It's because their roster caps are so low.
Yeah, I mean...
Right? So they have Kyle Smith and Nicolas Arsenault that are actually high, and everyone else is low to mid-60s.
They usually have Vince Nardone, so it's not a huge... I mean, Nick Arsenault is a more highly rated player than Vince Nardone, but it's not a huge discrepancy. And without Scott Miranowitz taking a hit, it fits obviously because they asked him to play and he was there. But it's still a shock to me to see Nick Arsenault playing in Division 4.
Was he actually playing for real? Because I see sometimes, even in the upper divisions, he kind of just, he's here for fun.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very dominant player. Right? He could take a game over by himself. He had 1 catch for 25 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception on defense. So either he shut down a guy completely and picked him off once, or on offense he just scored 1 time and he was like, "Wow, it's 30-0, so we could take it. We could take a chill pill." Les Hommes de l'Ouest just played the sort of defense where it's 4A. They're just not used to seeing guys like that on defense, aggressive guys jumping routes and just taking over games with very dominant safeties. Les Hommes de l'Ouest like that 40 bomb, and when it's not there, they're going to have games like that. They're going to have nights where they're just not successful. And this is the longest number 2 of all times.
Any other games that caught your eye?
Yes, I'm switching over to 4B now.
All right, 4B.
That was a wowzy. Division 4B. The infantry, Matt Bears. Matt Bears forfeited?
I guess. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I'm asking you because produce an answer.
I believe they did.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's 60-0.
I remember that now. Matt Bears informed the infantry prior to the game, like the night before, that they wouldn't be able to fill the roster. It's the second game that the infantry doesn't play. They had a forfeit week 1 against Gogang. Now they have a forfeit against Matt Bears this week. Pretty shitty, to be honest, to lose 2 games in the same season. But even if they would have won, the infantry would have won that game by like 20 points. They're too good this season.
I am so relaxed right now. But don't use the bathroom for the next 45 minutes. I would recommend.
Oh, hey, Mokan!
Are we on 4B now, or what's going on?
Yeah,
boys?
we're on 4B recaps.
And we're not jumping around.
Okay, no worries.
Let's talk about probably the most interesting game. Well, so there's 2 games that were very interesting this week. Dreambreakers beat the Sheriff.
I'm surprised by that.
45 by 40.
Dreambreakers have not looked good.
Dreambreakers have looked very good this season.
No, but there's times that they have not looked good though.
Yeah, so they're very so the problem is with Dreambreakers is when Sébastien Dallaire starts off well, their Dreambreakers are a very tough team to play against because they're physical, they're tall dudes, they're fast, and they sort of get going. But when they get off to a very slow start, they sort of give up on the game. Like, we already lost, doesn't matter, whatever, let's just chill, do.
Yeah.
So when they're in the game, they've been improving really like a lot. They were a Division 6 team last season.
Yeah.
They're one of the 3 teams that made the leap to Division 4 with Glogan and Air Force One. And Dreambreakers, to me, is the better team of the 3 at this point.
They are, but Simon, the thing is, like, you know, when I watched that game against the Sheriff, and I just thought our boy, Louis Manning, was very erratic in the pocket.
3 picks, man.
Yeah, a lot of one-hoppers. He didn't look good at all. But
when Alexandre Taché, bro. Fucking 3 picks, 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, but the thing
dominant, man. That's a lot.
The thing is with Dreambreakers, and the game that I saw them play against Air Force One, which they won only by was lost by 6. And then I remember I did the A squad game against Dreambreakers way back in week 1. And then the following week they played All Hooks at Hebert. So I did 3 of the games. They're 0-3. So maybe I'm not the right guy for them to do this game.
So just don't score keep them.
Just don't.
Maybe you're the bad left arm.
Maybe I am, but I need to see them be more convincing against the better tier of teams.
Well, the Sheriff is a good team this season. Right?
They are a good team.
By beating the Sheriff this week, it's like a statement game for them.
But
they need to win. They need to climb back up in like that middle of the pack instead of being at the bottom of the seedings.
Right.
And now with that win over the Sheriff, it doesn't really matter for them. They were 6-2, and then they're 6-3, whatever.
Yeah.
But for Dreambreakers, it's a huge win. First of all, it gives you a lot of confidence that if we play them again, which they might, because they might be like that 3 against 6 seed.
Yeah.
It could be a very fun matchup to have again. And for the Sheriff, it's a game that whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're already locked in. But for Dreambreakers, it pushes them over the top. Almost guarantees them a playoff spot now, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.
I think they're vulnerable, though, you know?
Well, everybody's vulnerable, except the infantry to me. Everybody but Ghost and Infantry is vulnerable in 4B.
Lonzo Ball is a saw play.
That didn't play well.
No.
They got manhandled.
But LBF was missing guys, though.
We saw that clip yesterday?
Ralph Casey.
Indeed.
Was it yesterday, this morning?
That was Lonzo Ballers?
Yeah, Lonzo Ballers against Dave Ashford.
Yeah. Ralph Casey was the one who did the infraction.
Raphael made the play on Raphael.
Yeah, exactly.
Casey on Dagenais.
But I look at it this way.
That's a good promo. We should have more of those.
Maybe. LVF, Nick Salho's quarterback didn't work out. One with Ralph Casey didn't work out, right? Lion Johnson had an okay day. Dagenais, really good receiver. And
he's just campaign receiver.
Yeah, he was running circles around these guys. But
sure.
I just didn't think if this is best on best, this game's a lot closer. It's probably a 1-score game, not a 3-score victory by Alonzo Ballers. But both teams were missing a lot of key talent. And
Zachary Kivetje wasn't there, right?
Kivetje wasn't there.
You're missing your starting quarterback.
LaFontaine wasn't there. LaFontaine wasn't there for them as well.
Sean.
Quay Johnson wasn't there either. So best on best, this is probably a 1-score game. This isn't a 3-score win.
And Lonzo Ballers is, like we've talked about in the previous weeks, a much better team than a lot of people give them credit for. If you look at their schedule, they're like, these guys, they lost a few bad games. But they also didn't have their quarterback for like 3 weeks.
No.
And they were also missing one of their best players for another 3 weeks. That was not the same 3 weeks because he got suspended. So, all in all, it's a bit surprising. I got a good one for you, Makan.
Yeah, go for it.
Is MTL Originals the best team without a good quarterback?
No.
Because who's a better team without a quarterback?
I mean, you're talking about like a team that doesn't have a preeminent
So
quarterback.
at Montreal Originals, if you look at that roster, very dominant. But their quarterback play, aside from the first 4 weeks, has been far below average. I wouldn't say mediocre, but close.
They have talent around them.
The receiving crew is amazing.
And
The
Chill,
defense is very
Desrosiers.
good. Yeah, look at this. Philippe Anchil, Marc-André Paradis, Vincent Benjamin, Ricardo Desrosiers, Jeremy Ledoux, and Jeremy Coutier, Stan Marino. These are all very good Division 4, Division 3 guys.
Eliandel, if he was playing true receiver, he'd be a real threat in this league.
Philippe Anchil? Well, he usually is, but this was the 1 week where the quarterback was
Yeah, yeah. MTL Originals is a good team. They have a good test against Dream Breakers this Sunday,
Oh, it's going to be a fun game.
which will tell us it gives us a good litmus test of whether or not this team is a real deal team or not. But
Well, it's going to be a good test for both teams, really.
yeah, well, look, MTL Originals need this victory over Dream Breakers right now.
If Dream Breakers could beat MTL Originals, it's going to elevate them as to like the 4th, 5th seed that could beat anybody below them.
Yes, exactly.
Montreal Originals, it's going to show that their first 4 weeks were flukes, I guess. Because they were
Hope not.
4-0, and now they're 4-4. Like it's bad, man. It's a huge fall from grace.
Their first 4 games were against Les Montagnards, Mad Bears, Team YS, and All Hooks. And then their next 4 games were
Yeah,
against
but-
the
yeah, but
Infantry,
Les
A
Montagnards-
Squad, Sheriff, and Glow Gang.
Yeah, not easy the last 4.
But like
put it that way.
they played the Montagnards, who were still having Marc-Antoine Vien as a quarterback, Mad Bears without Sébastien Thibault. So like all these like wins have a sort of like a bémol on them, right?
All right, look, I think that it'll be a loss by them will, I think, eliminate them. Not eliminate, but put them in severe.
What about Glow Gang?
It's too inconsistent for me, man.
They just beat Montreal Originals 26-25.
Yes, but why I say that is because earlier this season they kind of dicked around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take it seriously.
They forfeited the first week to
They did.
the infantry. They just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then the following week, they played with like 5 for most of the game. Guys were just
Yeah.
not serious. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Then they dug themselves in an 0-3.
0-3 start,
Yeah,
yes.
0-3 start. And ever since, like, okay, guys, we gotta, we're not pissing the season away. And they sort of climb back out. They're playing good. I think they're one of the most competitive teams. Like they're gonna have good games against pretty much everybody across the board. But they're not favorites in my book.
All right, so if you buy or sell right now, are you buying or selling the infantry right now?
Well, so are we doing like the stock market or the Mocon version?
Low conversion stock market.
So if it's the Mocon version, I'm buying hard. Like I'm putting all my money in the infantry. They're gonna go to the championship.
You think so?
If it's the stock market, I've already sold 5 weeks ago because it can't go higher than it is now. Like, the stock
I'm
is at its
confused.
highest.
I'm confused here. Okay,
Okay,
so
so
we'll
the
go stock
infantry,
market. Yeah.
To me, it's a championship or bust season, and I don't see them losing until the finals.
Okay, Glow Gang, buy or sell.
I'm a buy into Glow Gang at this point. I think that they're going to be able to upset a few teams in the playoffs.
I think they're just a funky team that's going to really make things difficult for others.
I think that unless they have a tough game, unless they play the infantry in the playoff in this season's playoffs before
Yeah.
the semifinals,
Yeah.
they'll make the semifinals.
Right. Mean Machine.
So they're good. They're just at this point of the season, this is when they fall off the wagon.
I look at Dan Goloff and that core receiving team. They've had some injuries earlier this season.
Over or under 1.5 playoff wins.
For Mean Machine?
Actually, just go over or under 1. Are they
Depends
gonna?
on the matchup.
Yeah, look, if
I
we go,
don't,
okay,
I don't
so
see them
let's say-
winning in the playoffs.
okay, are they a one-round team? Yes or no? How about that? I say
They could be a 1-round team.
They'll be in the playoffs.
They'll be
and
bounced.
They'll lose by like 2 scores, like
Yeah,
they've
they'll-
done in the last like 4 years.
They'll be bounced in the first round. LBB,
Oh man, the Blues.
they've improved.
The roster's good.
The roster's much improved. They're much more organized than they were in years
They
past.
show up on time. They're not 4.
Yeah, and we're not doing that. Okay, well, you're down 6-0 after a minute of play here.
18-0 at Brossard.
Yeah. Okay, so LBB, you buying or selling these guys?
I'm a buy on the LBB. I think that they are very matchup dependent. I think they have a very strong defense, very good team. Their offense won't put up 45 points though.
I think their defense can lock up with the best of them, and I think their offense could put up points, but it all depends on how much they're in sync with each other.
So let's look at that side of the conference for LBB in 4B. Let's look at who they could play in the playoffs and see who could be.
Right now, they're locked in with LVF in a 4 versus
So
5
now they'll
matchup.
play LVF.
But
I'm-
if they were to fall to 6 or 7, then they get Lonzo Ball's or SWAT.
So I think that they could lock up SWAT and and make it a very interesting game. Although
SWAT's been playing like scrap.
SWAT up till this week they played really well the last like 3 weeks, scoring like.
But when they play bad,
yeah,
they play
that's the thing.
really like.
Either they score 50 or they score 18. There's like
they
no
throw
middle.
4.6s.
Yeah, there's like no middle for them.
There's nothing.
So if Les Blues Ballard play Lonzo Ballers, Ghost, or SWAT, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
If they play Mean Machine, Small Giants, or Ballers, they're gonna wreck them.
Anything below them, yes. Anything above them,
So
is a bit
it
more
could be
dicey.
fun to see the Blues Ballard like finish like third or fourth,
They-
and have like a freebie round.
I don't know if they can get up to the 3 spot. I think the 4 is their ceiling right now.
Well, so they currently have Canes and SWAT left in their schedule.
They're gonna be Canes
They're gonna be Canes.
and SWAT's again which actually would flip the table because
go.
they could go up to 3. But
SWAT is 5-3. The Blues Ballard are 5-3. So it's fair to assume the Blues Ballard are gonna win this week, go to 6-3, and then they get to play SWAT, who are playing Les Verts and the Blues Ballard. So those are not 2 games that are not gimmies for SWAT.
no, and SWAT could have a real tailspin. And end
So
up-
in this one, we could potentially see SWAT go 5-5, and the Blues Ballard finish 7-3 in the 3rd seed.
SWAT can fall to 7 right now. If things don't go their way.
They're locked in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could fall off a little bit, and then that would seem like SWAT would have to play Ghost, Alonzo Ballers, or the Blues Ballard week 1 as the underdog instead of as a favorite.
And they want to do that.
No, you don't. So SWAT needs to beat Les Verts this week.
Exactly. Dream Breakers. I know we were hyping them up before,
All the Dream Breakers.
so you're buying them.
I think that they're currently in the 9th seed, out of the playoff with 8 points. 30, but also is the 4th seed. Like from 4th to 9th, everybody's at 4 wins, 8 points.
Right.
They just happen to be the lowest because of divisional record, but the season's not over, and they won't be that one team on the outside looking in.
Does
All
that
right.
put Air Force One in a bad position because they have an extra game at hand? But 8
Very
points?
bad
Yep.
position. Very bad. Because they're
Absolutely.
ahead behind.
Yeah.
That's how you use it.
Mad Bears, 4-4. They're in the playoff spot.
I'm
right
buying
now.
Mad Bears. Ever since Sebastian Thibault came back 100%, they've been very good. It sucks this week that they had to forfeit to the infantry.
Right.
It would have been more fun to play
Yeah.
that game. But I still think that they're a playoff team. I think they're going to be one of those teams that remain in a 6 to 8 spot, but they're going to stay in. In Conference B, Les Montagnards and Team YS are eliminated from playoff contention. The Infantry Sheriff A Squad are officially clinched. So it comes down to Montreal Originals, Glow Gang, Air Force One, Mad Bears, All Hooks, Dream Breakers. Dream Breakers will make it in. They will make the playoffs this season.
Yep.
They have Montreal Originals and Mad Bears left on their schedule. Tough, but they're going to split it, finish 5-5. Air Force One are playing Glow Gang as the last game.
And now you can flip the playoff schedule, getting the 5 versus 6 matchup right now.
So if Glow Gang wins, which I believe will happen,
I
Air
think they
Force
will.
One will finish 4-6, and will finish 9th and won't make playoffs.
Yeah, they're the playoff destiny's out of their hands.
So because they already have an extra game over everybody else, and it's a loss, they're in a tough spot. They need to beat Glow Gang this week, and Glow Gang also needs to win. Like if Glow Gang loses this game, they'll be 4-5, move down closer to being eliminated, and there's a chance that one of these teams are not making playoffs.
Well, yeah, because
Right, like, it's a fact.
One team is outside looking
Yeah.
in. So yes, there is one team that will not make the playoffs in this case, whether it is All Hugs,
So
Dream Breakers.
all these guys need to win, and the Montreal Originals Dream Breakers game is going to be a huge one. I'll preview that in my article. Glow Gang Air Force One also going to be a very, very good game to watch on. Watch if. I don't know.
watch the game.
Pay attention to.
Yes,
There you go.
exactly. Okay, in 4A, Simone.
Playoff standings.
Well, I wanted to ask you, don't mess with Texas. They had a bad loss against Game Changers.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier.
I know you did. I heard you. Game
You were here.
Changers, yeah, will be the one seed, no doubt about that. Don't mess with Texas. That one tie, will it hurt or help them in clinching a playoff spot?
At this point, because they've already played 9 games, it helps because it puts them just above Cape Warlock, the Tide, and Show Me TDs. Just above. Show Me TDs beat them this season in the week 3 or 4,
Right.
which would give them the head-to-head against them. Because
Yeah.
of that tie, the head-to-head doesn't matter anymore. So if both teams finish with 4 wins, don't mess with Texas above them, and they're going to push Show Me TDs out. I believe at this point in the season, Well, so Les Hommes de l'Ouest and Soft Serve are officially out of the playoff race.
Soft Serve has a chance. I had it listed here. Soft Serve still has an outside chance if they were to win out with help.
Well, they need to win out, and
They're
they need
2-5-1.
everybody else to lose out, which
Exactly. But right now, the odds of that happening are very minimal.
are very, very slim. Like,
Yeah. But I'm disappointed with Soft Serve because they had a really good roster assembled.
Soft Serve
And-
played game changers the week 11. That's not
No,
they need to win out.
Yeah.
And considering, like, if you look at it, like, we talked about it a little bit. I'm disappointed in Keep or Lock, but for Soft Serve to jump Keep or Lock to make the playoffs is like a very.
So in that case, when you look at a team like Keep or Lock or the Tide, they're both at 4-5 or 4-3 for the Tide. Tide have complete control of their playoff destiny. They
Mhm.
went out the next three. They could, in theory, finish as high as 2 if things fall their way. They could, but I don't think that will be the case. So right now, which team would you rather be? Which team are you more envious of? Keep or Lock or the Tide and how they can control their playoff destiny moving forward?
The Tide, man. The Tide has Show Me TDs, Baby Kangaroos, the U. If the Tide wins this week on Wednesday night, Iber, they officially clinch playoff and knock out Show Me TDs. With a win this week. And then they play Baby Kangaroos on Sunday and the U on Monday, so back-to-back games.
Right.
So within 5 days, they have 3 games. Wednesday, Sunday, Monday.
That
Pretty
could
brutal.
take a toll.
It's going to take a toll. You're going to see a difference in the U game, for sure. I think they're going to go all out against Show Me TDs to win that game, to keep themselves alive.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play against Baby Kangaroos because it's going to be one of those games where, like, we're going to get a better seeding, whatever. And then by the time they get to that game against the U, they're going to be tired. They're going to need subs, and the guys are going to be fatigued.
Right. So Stoics are the one right now. You have Half a Star, 69ers, Greendale Human Beings all hovering within 2 points now.
Right.
So the best and worst case scenario for the Stoics is what right now? First place can definitely be theirs if they win out. But what is the worst case scenario for them if they were to fall down the ladder and end up being a 4 seed? What is a good matchup and what is a bad matchup for them if they were a 4 or 3 seed or 2 seed?
I think they're going to stay the number 1 seed. I think that if you look at who they have on their schedule, like who's going to make it in Division 4 and in Conference A, who's going to make it in. I think the only difficult team for them to play, I think they have the one up against Sphinx, Ebros, Jägerbomb, past their prime. Greendale Human Beings a difficult game for them.
I would want
69ers a tough game for them.
Yeah.
Alpha Stars a tough game. So the top 4, but they won't play them. The only one that could worry me for the Stoics is Savage Squad.
No.
See, that's the thing. I think that the way Savage Squad plays FPF is they're very aggressive, they jump stuff, and they're physical guys.
Right.
The Stoics are a lot of players who, yes, they know this is going to happen, but it gets under their skin. They don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
And Savage Squad knows that, and they're going to use that to their advantage. So if Savage Squad is able to maintain a good start, so they start with the ball, score,
Mm-hmm.
and Derek Daou plays the same way he's been playing in the last 2 weeks, where he's playing as a pocket quarterback. He makes good reads, and he get rid of the ball fast, and lets his receivers make play for him. They're going to score 35 points against the Stoics. And if they have to
But they have
lead
a good
most of the game,
defense, though.
they have a good
Delorier,
defense.
Vinny,
No, Stoics is a good
Delano.
team. They're not going to score 40.
Yeah.
But they're going to score like 5 times. And if Savage Squad is able to start with the ball and maintain the lead the whole way and force Stoics to catch up to them, Chris Rivet is going to make mistakes. And he
So you
told
don't
me,
trust him as a quarterback.
Chris
in the
Rivet
big
told
game.
me before they played Savage Squad back in is, I hate playing against the Daou. They always get under my skin.
Right.
Considering that before the game even happens is a problem. He already knows he's going to get frazzled. So
you don't trust him in the big game.
not against Savage, against everybody in this division, yes. Against the Savage Squad, no. I think Chris Rivet, the way he's playing this season is phenomenal.
Like he said, he credits Frank and Vinny, Galano, and Delorier for the positive reinforcement that played.
He also found a way to use all these pieces together and let the guys that he have make him better. So it's not the Stoics isn't about Chris Rivet being an elite quarterback throwing to good receivers.
Right.
It's about very, very good receivers making their quarterback better.
Right.
So he uses a guy like Vinny Guilano, who's like a Division 1 receiver.
Yep.
Make him look better by letting his receiver do the hard work for him. Chris Rivet doesn't need to be the all-star anymore. You just need his receivers to make him good.
He's an all-star photographer, that's for sure.
And videographer. Yeah, that's for sure. Do we have clips from? Do we have other clips from the 4?
No, he's on his phone right now.
That's it. That's all we got.
Perfect. 4 hours of work, and he gave us like 4 clips. All right, Alex Noel. He's on a cusp of something unique. 50 catches, 50 catches, 800 yards, receiving 20 touchdowns.
I wish we could see what the record was for yards because record books, but
one
50
game
catches
to
is good,
go. What is more likely to happen? Him hitting the 50 reception mark, him hitting 800 yards, or 20 touchdowns for the season?
800 yards is more likely. I think the way that Louis Béjean uses Alex Noel, he feeds him insanely. He's the guy that's going to get not just the yaks, but he's the guy that the play concepts revolve around Alex Noel being in open space, which allows him to get a lot of yards, and he's going to have another 80, 90-yard game.
So, I don't know if you've seen his stats. He has a lot of touchdowns.
Yep.
Is he Hall of Fame worthy?
Alex Noel?
Yeah.
Does he have enough seasons to begin with?
Eagle, can you get that up for us?
He
please?
does not have enough seasons.
How many seasons does he have now?
He has 165 touchdowns receiving.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Alex Noel is probably one of the best lower division guys, like, ever.
He's always smiling.
He's such a nice guy. You remember him playing with Predators back in the days?
Vaguely.
He was playing with
James Floriani.
Flo
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jacob
So,
Burnett. And
Predators 2012, Nutcrackers 2013,
Please count in
Predators
your head and tell us
2014,
total.
Spring. Okay, wait. 1, 2.
In your head.
3.
This guy's a mathematician, is he not? Like a
the computer guy.
yeah.
He's not a mathematician. He's a computer guy. So Alex Noel has been playing. For
Oh,
a
he's
while.
at 12.
Yeah,
He's
so
at
he
12
is
seasons.
playoff
So, but look
eligible.
at his touchdown
but
But
reception.
not all his seasons are, I guess, eligible.
Well,
Like,
you just need
not
to have
eligible,
5.
not good.
6.
right?
You just to be playoff eligible for.
But look at his touchdown grabs.
That's what I'm saying, though. If you look at some of them,
That's a
like the
lot.
old seasons,
Yeah, but back then he was playing in the high. Like, what I find is too high for him. Like he's going to be a dominant 4, 5, 6 player, but if you move him up to Division 2, you get lost in the mix.
But 165 touchdowns is a lot. It's a lot, man. So how's he not in the Hall of Fame?
That's like 20%. That's
would you vote for him?
Yeah, I'll vote for him.
well,
you
considering
vote
these
this year?
numbers,
I don't vote.
he doesn't vote.
I don't
Considering these numbers, bro, that's 16 touchdowns per season for 10 seasons.
vote. That's a
he has
hell of a
double-digit.
mark.
He's got double-digit touchdowns
But no one recognizes it.
every single year for 12 seasons.
Yep. But no one recognizes
How many
it.
guys have that? They're all in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's in the Hall of Famer.
So who's the guy that gave us a short list of people to vote on? Because he snubbed Alex Noel.
It wasn't me.
I think Down Lazar did. I think we should place Down Lazar.
No, Dan Zara didn't make the list because he wasn't on it. So
No, exactly. Exactly. All right. It is now time for
Games of the week.
All right, here we go.
Pew, 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 pew. Let's do 4B first. Mean Machine versus Check Out My TDs.
Meme Machine.
yes,
They need that win, eh?
Yes.
Need
yeah.
that
The Meme
win.
Machine need that win. Check out my TDs are in a tough spot, and I think that Meme Machine, like we talked about, as much as I don't trust them in the playoffs, they'll beat anybody below them.
Nothing above him.
All right. We have Air Force One versus Glow Gang.
Glow Gang.
Game of the week right there.
Where are they playing, by the way?
They are playing Brothard 2.
Oh, okay.
Saturday.
I'll bring Antoine Esteem's water bottle then.
I don't know who's the game of the week guy, but that's a game of the week to me. Give me Glow Gang. Give
Should
me
be.
Glow Gang.
MTL Originals versus Dream Breakers.
That's the what should have been game of the week, but less popular vote.
I go.
Give me Dream
I go
Breakers.
Breakers. Yeah, Breakers.
What could potentially be a preview of the 4B finals? Ghost versus the Sheriff.
Ghost.
It won't be
I'm saying it's possible.
because the infantry will not lose. But give me Ghost. The
Ghost.
bragging rights on this
Yeah.
game is going to be too high for the Sheriff.
Give me Ghost.
I'm just
Sorry,
trying to
Lewis.
see any other ones that are relevant for playoff standings here. We got, I guess, A Squad versus All Hooks.
All hooks.
All looks need to win, man.
Yeah.
They're in the 8th hole at the moment. They can't afford to lose, but they will. Give me a squad.
Perfect recipe for a squad to lose.
No, this is the perfect game for A Squad to win. This is the sort of game where they'll be chirpier than the other team. They're going to get under all the skin. If the rusher is able to get to Seal Levine, they're going to win.
And a potential upset, Mad Bears versus Team YS.
Not Bears.
Oh, yeah, this is not a close game. Mad Bears, man.
No chance of spoilers?
No.
Team YS has been... They checked out.
A long time ago. Next.
Let's go 4A.
4A.
You know who checked out this week?
I did.
No, your boy checked out this week.
Who?
Theory.
Oh, yeah,
Cheers.
Gerville. Man, this guy. Oh,
He
my
checked out, man.
God. This guy didn't want to play. Like, he's like, what the bleep am I here for?
He came back in the huddle saying, "Don't throw me the ball."
Nice.
In the first half.
He's got such bad hands, man.
He's just he's like he could be so good, but
Fun Boys
Checks out.
versus Game Changers.
Changers.
yeah, I like Fun Boys, but Game Changers are too good.
Let's go. Again, I'm just looking for games that are potentially relevant here. Sphinx versus Ebros.
Big game. Big game for both.
Huge
because-
game for both, 6 against 7.
Yeah. Give me Sphinx one.
Ebros has been a terrible spiral.
Yeah.
If they don't bounce back from this, Ebros might not make playoffs. Give me Ebros.
Another potential finals matchup, potentially. The Stoics versus BD Bandits.
Stoics.
Stoics.
Yeah.
It's totally Stoics. I just
You
like Stoics.
you know what's gonna happen in this game is who gets ejected? Vinny Golano or Steve Sander?
Yes.
No, Sven will get
Who
ejected.
gets that OC?
Yes.
Vinny does.
How many? What's the town? Because Vinny just got got himself a decent amount
Yeah,
last
he
week.
has a whole bunch now.
Les Hommes de l'Ouest, Soft Serve. Soft Serve needs this win.
No, the men of West are going to do it.
Oh yeah, Antoine Cote's gonna run all over him.
Yeah. No competition.
Keyport Lock, Don't Mess with Texas.
Keyport.
Don't mess with Texas.
And the battle for the last seed, the Tide versus Show Me Your TDs.
Tied.
Yeah, Ty knocks him out.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Magic words, please.
For all of us here at the Week Extra Point Live, you don't know what that means.
I'm happy you're here, Mokan, because I wouldn't go 40 minutes of just myself.
I went 10 minutes by myself. Good night, toilet.
Wow, shots fired!
Wait, I think I have a sound for this. Wait, I gotta find it.
The mics are still on, eh?
I know.
Shots
fun.
were so fired.